So today we are going to see about the sewage treatment plant, the biogas, as well as the biofertilizers. Okay, so how actually the process has been done and how the water bodies without any contamination are released into the river bodies or oceans or whatever it is. So, so this is the basic what sewage treatment plant. Okay, so what do you mean by sewage? Okay, sewage means what? The wastewater, which contains organic matter and the human excreta. So basically, these are what the wastewater from the cities and towns, which contains the human waste as well as lot of organic matter. So obviously, this particular wastewater cannot be directly released into the water bodies. So what can be done is treatment of that particular sewage water is done so that whatever the BOD, which is the biological oxygen demand, that will be reduced. Okay, so usually the sewage has been treated in the STPs, that is a sewage treatment plant, so that the pollution will be reduced, and it's basically done in two stages, that is the primary as well as the secondary stage. So as you can see over here, there are two treatments, that is primary as well as the secondary treatment. So initially, whatever the primary treatment is there, it means what? The physical materials which can be seen through our eyes, that should be removed first. Okay, so small to large particles, physical particles which are there, they will be removed over here. So there are basic two steps which are being used. One is the filtration, another one is the sedimentation. So as you can see, raw sewage, it's put into the screens. Then we have the commuter and then a grit chamber. Okay, so what happens is in the filtration, whatever the floating debris are there, they will be removed first. Okay, so that is the role of the filtration process. Whereas in the sedimentation, what happens? Whatever the high weightage particles are there, they will be settled down. As you can see here, whatever the grits are there, they are settled down and then it's been removed. So you have a primary clarifier solution, which is nothing but your supernatant type solution. But still, after the primary treatment, the sewage thing has the microbes. So we have to clear it down. So for that purpose, what we'll do is we'll go for the secondary treatment. So usually whatever things are being treated in the primary treatment and whatever we get for the secondary treatment is called as what? Primary sludge. Primary sludge. Okay, so what is this primary sludge? It's nothing but whatever the solids are there, they will settle down at the bottom, right? So that is the primary sludge, and upper part, whatever is there, it's called as the effluent, right? So this is the primary clarifier. As you can see, whatever the raw primary sludge is there, right? That's going down over here and disposed. Whereas the main thing, which is your primary effluent, that is going towards the secondary treatment. Okay, so primary treatment is nothing but just whatever the physical impurities are there, that has been removed on the basis of the density. Okay, that is sedimentation as well as the filtration. Now, second part, which is your secondary treatment. Now, in this, what happens is already you have a primary effluent which is free from the physical particles. So now what we are going to do is we are just biologically going to remove the microorganisms and make it clear water so that it can be given out into the water bodies. So how the process actually takes place. So basic primary effluent, whatever is there, it goes into the aeration tank. Okay, so aeration tank, in the name itself it's there. Aeration tank means what? Whatever your effluent is there, that will be pumped in with the air, and then it is being agitated or stirred. Okay, means mixed with the air. So that is the role of the effluent into the aeration tank, where the air is being provided to the effluent and it is being agitated. Secondly, what happens is it goes towards the microbial growth. Okay, so microbial growth means what? When you provide air, that is the aeration, when it is provided, whatever microorganisms are there, they will grow. Okay, so I'll just draw over here, right over here, the thing. Yeah, so if you see, the air compressor is there, aeration and stirring is being happening over there. Okay, now next what happens over here is when the air is being provided, whatever your microorganisms are there, they will grow and they will form flocks. Okay, so microorganisms grow and form the flocks. Now, flocks will contain two microorganisms. One is bacterial, another one is the fungal. Okay, so what do this microorganism flocks do? They will consume the organic matter which is present in your effluent. Okay, so what is the role of this growth of microorganisms after the aeration? It will consume the organic matter. So when the organic matter is consumed, what happens? The BOD level. So BOD means what? Biological oxygen demand. Okay, that gets reduced over here because microorganisms are consuming the organic matter. So hence whatever the BOD is there, that will be maintained over there. Okay, that is the biochemical oxygen demand. So then after the BOD is been cleared, next what happens is whatever your effluent is there, it's been passed to the settling tank. As you can see over here, there is a secondary clarifier. Okay, then secondary effluent, and then it's been given to the tertiary treatment if required, right? So after the reduction of the BOD, it is being transferred into where? The settling tank. So So here if you see, okay, the sewage is there, aeration tank, okay, return of the sludge, secondary clarifier, effluent. Now from here, it goes to the settling tank. Settling tank. Okay, so once it goes to the settling tank, if necessary for the tertiary treatment, then we can do the tertiary treatment. Otherwise, it is just passed on towards the or discharged to the water bodies. Now, what is the outcome of doing all this particular thing? Okay, that is a primary, secondary treatment, or what is the necessity to do this sewage treatment before letting it into the water bodies? So, usually, see here, one main thing which we get is your activated sludge. Okay, so activated sludge means what? Now, already because of the air, the bacteria has been grown, the organic matter has been fed up by the bacteria and fungal flocks. And what is happening is the BOD is being maintained now over there. So, this activated sludge means what? They are nothing but the bacterial flocks which are there, they have been allowed to settle in this settling tank. Okay, so that basically forms your sludge. Now, whenever the activated sludge is formed, a small amount is pumped back, as you can see in this again. Okay, now this small amount acts as your inoculum so that further whatever batches will come, right? So for that, the microorganism starter culture will already be present. Okay, so for that only what happens is a small portion of your activated sludge has been pumped back into your aeration tank, which acts as what? As an inoculum. Okay, this step is very important. So the activated sludge small portion is pumped back to the aeration tank, which is going to act as what? As an inoculum. Next, what happens is it goes to the anaerobic sludge digesters. Now, till now, whatever the process was there, that is in the presence of air, means it was aerobic process. Now we'll be dealing with the anaerobic process. So as you can see, this is the anaerobic sludge digestion. Okay, so in the anaerobic sludge digestion, what is going to happen is whatever your primary sludge which we have got over here, it goes to the anaerobic digesters, and this is what how it looks like. So in the anaerobic digester, what will happen is the bacteria, it will digest your sludge. Okay, and after digesting the sludge, it produces an important product which is called as biogas. Okay, so this particular biogas is very rich in what? CH4, that is methane, CO2, H2, hydrogen sulfide, H2S. Okay, so this is what the anaerobic sludge digester. So what is the basic role of this anaerobic sludge digester? It's nothing but in the anaerobic condition, means in the absence of the air, whatever the biogas is there, that has been formed as a product from your sludge. Okay, which happens only in the absence of the air. And what is the main content or component in a biogas? It's the methane gas. Okay, so whatever effluents are there, that has been reduced with the BOD and it is finally released into the rivers. Okay, so the most important part over here is the three-step process, which is your primary treatment, secondary treatment, and the sludge when it enters into the anaerobic digester to produce an important component, which is your biogas. Okay. So this is how your STP looks like. Okay, the sewage treatment plant. So as you can see, big digesters and all those stuffs are there. Okay, so one by one, it does all the function and goes and it is released finally into the river bodies. Okay, then coming towards the importance of the sewage treatment plant. So the importance is what? First of all, effluent disposal takes place very easily because it's been treated and it's released contaminated free, so the water bodies are also safe in receiving this sewage water, whatever is there. Second is what? The microbiological role which comes into existence. So microbiological role means what? Now as we know that already some microbes, they are good, right, but some, they will be harmful. So depending upon which is good, it plays a very important role in the wastewater treatment, that too globally. Okay, so that is the second important. That first one is the effluent disposal, second is the microbial role, and third one is what? Urbanization challenge. Okay, so urbanization challenge means now as we know there is an increase in urbanization, so because of it more and more sewage will be formed, right? But still STPs are not in enough number which can treat this large amount of sewage water due to the increasing urbanization. So these are what some of the importance of the sewage treatment. Apart from this, there are certain government initiatives also which were given, okay, to treat the sewage. That is the Ganga and Yamuna action plans and educational visits. So Ganga and Yamuna action plans means what? Whatever the water has been released into these two bodies, they have been treated so that the river pollution will be reduced. And educational visit means once a trip to the sewage treatment plant visit. That will be useful to know how actually this works. Okay, these are all what your government initiatives which are being done. The next one is what? How the microbes are important in the production of biogas. Now, already we know that how the biogas has been produced, right? But actually, what is the biogas? It's nothing but the mixture of gases. Mixture of gases, especially the methane, which are produced by whom? The microbes. And the major role of this biogas is what? It acts as a fuel. Okay, so to produce the biogas, there is one important thing which is called as methanogens. Now, what are they? Methanogens are nothing but the anaerobic bacteria, okay, which is also called as methanobacterium, which are going to produce the methane, carbon dioxide, or hydrogen sulfide by using what? Cellulosic material. Cellulosic material. Now, what is the cellulosic material? Now, usually this is found in the rumen of a cattle, that is in the stomach of the cattle, okay, where these microorganisms are already present. So that's why over here you can see the cow, the crops, as well as the food waste, right? So it has been fed into the anaerobic digester, which then gives you biogas, and then it is stored and used for the electricity as well as the heating purpose. Okay, so usually whatever the methanogens are there, they are what? The microorganisms which are responsible to produce the biogas, having the methane as the primary content in the biogas. Okay, so usually where do you find this thing? In the gut of animals, sewage treatment plants, rice paddies, okay, hydrothermal vents. Here you will find this in the anaerobic environments. You can find this methanogens. Okay, so this is what a diagrammatic representation as how the ruminant animals rumen is having what? The methanogen or methanobacterium. So as you can see over here, okay, this is the stomach where you have the rumen, and this cow is being fed. Okay, it's feeding this on this grass, and then when it eats, it's basically containing what? A cellulosic material. So cellulose, as you know, that's very difficult to digest, so it has to churn again and again its food to release all that particular and digestion to happen properly. Okay, so for that purpose only, already the rumen will contain the microbiome, which is going to degrade the cellulosic material, which are difficult to digest. Okay, so this is what a basic diagram of the biogas plant. Okay, so how is this biogas being produced? Now, as we already know, methanogens are found where? In the rumen of the cattle, in the anaerobic sludge, as we saw earlier, as well as where? In the dung, cow dung also. Okay, the cattle dung. So these are the three sources wherein the methanogens are usually found. Okay, so how actually the biogas has been produced? So as you can see over here, there is a mixing tank. Okay, so mixing tank is nothing but a concrete tank will be there, which is almost 10 to 15 feet deep. And in that tank, what we are going to do is collect all the essential material for the production of the biogas. So what is that essential material? Your bio waste and the dung slurry. Okay, so this has been, there's an inlet over here, as you can see, a mixing tank is there where they have been mixed, and then it goes straight away through the inlet pipe into the digester tank. Okay, so in the digester tank, what is happening is, now whatever the slurry is there, due to the presence of the microbes, gas will be produced. Okay, and when the gas is produced, it just moves up. As you can see over here, this is the gas storage tank. So obviously it will move upwards from whatever your slurry is been putting it downwards over here. So this yellow color which you can see is the slurry, and upper part is the gas which has been released by the microorganisms. Once the gas has been produced, then what will happen is it goes out through the outlet. Okay, so there will be a valve present which will be connected to the major gas pipeline. So whenever it's necessary, you can just on the valve, and then the biogas will be supplied through the pipe to wherever it is necessary. Okay, and then what happens is you have from the outlet pipe, you have what over here? A spent slurry also. Means you can see over here, and what you say? The overflow tank is there. Okay, so in that overflow tank, what happens is whatever the spent slurry is there, means the remaining slurry is there, that is being used as what? A fertilizer. Okay, so in short, whatever your bio waste and dung is there, they are being mixed in a concrete tank. Then they are carried towards your digester tank, wherein the microbes release the gas. Okay, and then that gas is being flowed out through the various pipes wherever it is essential. And whatever the spent slurry is there, that is being used as a fertilizer. So whenever a biogas is been produced. Okay, the major three uses are there. One is it can be basically used for the cooking purpose. Second is for the electricity or the lighting purpose. And third one is the fertilizer. Okay, so these are what the uses of the biogas. So usually several organizations have been also developed to uh, initiate this particular biogas as much as possible. Okay, and those organizations are IARI and KVIC. IARI means Indian Agricultural Research Institute. This is one organization, okay, which takes the initiative to develop the biogas and provide it to mostly the rural areas in India. Whereas the KVIC is what? The Khadi and Village Industries. Okay. So these two are the organizations which mainly work on the biogas production and its supply. Next one is the use of microbes as a biocontrol agents. Okay, now already we have seen how it is being used as an household agent, right? How it's used in the industries to produce major products like cheese and fermented beverages. Okay, then about the STPs, how the sewage treatment plant works, as well as about the production of the biogas. Now, the next one is about the biocontrol agents. Okay, so biocontrol agents means what? Bio means living, right? So using a biological method, you're going to basically control the plant disease or the pests which can harm your field or field crops which are there, right? So let's see one by one. Now, usually whatever the biocontrol things are there, biocontrol agents, because we use living organisms over there, so there are certain benefits of using them. The first benefit is what? Natural predation. Natural predation. Second is the organic farming because we are not using any chemicals. And third is the holistic approach. So natural predation means here there is a predator-prey relationship used to control the pests from the fields. Okay, so that it will not destroy the crops. Okay, so the first example, as you can see over here, is a ladybug which is feeding on what? The aphids. So the small things are nothing but the aphids. So usually what does this ladybirds do is they feed on them. So because of that, here there is a predator as well as the prey. Okay, so the predator is the bug as well as the prey is what? The aphids. In the same way, we have dragonflies. Okay, so here you can see that the dragonflies, they are feeding on what? Mosquitoes. So in a field, if a ladybug as well as a dragonfly is present, so it will control both this pest, that is the aphids as well as the mosquito. Okay, then we have the next one, which is, yeah. So here you can see one thing, which is nothing but the fungal infection. Okay, so fungal infection means the trichoderma, how it actually infects the um, organism and kills it. Okay, so there are certain fungus also, not only that this bugs or flies and bacteria, they control this prey or the pest, but also there are what? Certain fungal like thing or viral like things also, which are going to protect the plants from the pest. Okay, so one such thing is called as what? BT. Okay, so BT means what? Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, so Bacillus thuringiensis is nothing but it is a particular type of bacterial gene which is called as the cry genes. Okay, this basically contains what? Cryogens. Now, in the market, you can see that BT cotton, BT brinjal, BT tomatoes, they are being available nowadays. So these are what? It's a genetically engineered product. Okay, so genetically engineered product means Now, certain spores are being used up over here so that it will act on what? Certain organisms. For example, if I take the BT, just let me, yeah. See, if you see in this diagram, okay, it's a caterpillar basically, and we have this genes which is called as what? Bacillus thuringiensis. So what happens is the Bacillus thuringiensis, which is commonly known as the BT, it is used to control what? The butterflies. Basically the larva which is there, it just controls them. So usually they are available in the form of dried spores. These dried spores are mixed with water and then they are sprayed on the plants. So first time this was used in the Brassica genus plants. Okay, so what happens is the dried spores of the scry genes, that is the BT which is there, they are being mixed with the water and they are sprayed onto the plants. So once they are sprayed, what happens is this caterpillars go and feed on the spores, and the toxin gets released when it reaches into the digestive system of the caterpillar. So once it reaches the digestive system, what is going to happen is their digestive system swells. Okay, and the caterpillar comes into such a stage that it will stop feeding the leaf. Why it stops feeding the leaves is because it's this toxin, because it's released in the intestine swells and it bursts or it breaks. So obviously if there is no intestine, how it's going to eat the leaf, right? So this is how the caterpillars, what happens is it starves itself because it cannot eat anything and it will die. Okay, so this is how the BT genes, there's the cry genes which is there, it works when it enters into the caterpillar. And this is how the caterpillar is being what? Killed. It cannot further affect your field crops, whatever is there. So this is the thing how it happens. Okay, so these are the three scenarios. Like one is the trichoderma, one is the baculovirus. Okay, so if you see over here, what is happening is the larva, whatever the caterpillar is there, that has been here, as you can see in all these two pictures. Okay, so it's been completely dead. So this is how the BT genes work. Okay, next which we have is the trichoderma. Trichoderma. So trichoderma is nothing but the fungi, okay, which lives in the root, and that is effective against certain plant pathogens. Along with that, we have one more thing which is called as baculovirus. Baculovirus. Now, this is a very important question. Okay, baculoviruses means what? They are the pathogens for the insects as well as for the arthropods. Okay, and this baculovirus usually comes under the genus which is called as nucleopolyhedrovirus. Hedrovirus. Okay, so this baculovirus usually, it's obviously a kind of virus which is going to attack the larval stage. Okay, so at the larval stage only infection it will cause, and it's a narrow spectrum solution. Okay, so baculovirus are what? They are basically for the insects and the arthropods, which comes under the genus nucleopolyhedrovirus. So usually because it's a narrow spectrum, what do you say, insecticidal. So hence they have no negative impact on the plants or whatever birds if they feed on that particular leaves or fruits of that particular plant. Okay, so this is one question which is repeated in the board, which is about the baculovirus as well as the BT, that is the Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, so usually this biocontrol agents, because we are reducing the chemical use. Okay, so that is the one important thing for using a biocontrol agent. Secondly, because we're not using any chemicals, it's an environmental friendly thing. And thirdly, it's what a IPM. Now, what is this IPM? IPM is nothing but the integrated pest management system. So, integrated pest management means we are just going to combine the biocontrol methods with rest of the management methods to get what? An effective pest control. And that thing is only called as what? Integrated pest management. Then moving on towards the last thing, which is the biofertilizer. Okay, so as we know that chemical fertilizers, they are very toxic to the plants, to the soil, and whatever things are surrounding it. So hence we opt what? Biofertilizers during the farming process, right? So what are biofertilizers? Biofertilizers are nothing but when the soil is being provided with certain organisms which are rich in the soil nutrients, we say that they are what? Biofertilizers. Okay, so majorly it comprises of what? Bacteria, fungi, and something called as the cyanobacteria. So as you can see, whenever a biofertilizer is introduced to the soil, it increases the soil porosity as well as the aggregation. Plus, there is certain good things happening over there, which is called as symbiotic association. Symbiotic association. Now, in order for the symbiotic association to happen, let's see some of the examples. So as you can see over here, these are what? The root nodules. Okay, so this is a root nodule of a leguminous plant, and this is because of the rhizobium. Now, what is rhizobium? Rhizobium is a bacteria which usually lives in this root nodules and which gives out something which is called as a symbiotic association. So symbiotic association means the rhizobium is also benefited, plus the plants are also benefited. Okay, so when two things are living on the same place and when both are mutually benefited, that particular thing is called as what? Symbiotic association. So rhizobium, what it does is it fixes the atmospheric nitrogen into the organic form. Fixes N2 into organic form. Not only rhizobium, but we have other such bacteria also, such as azospirillum and acetobacter. So this performs the basic function which is called as what? Symbiosis. Next, what we have is the second example regarding the fungi or the fungus. Okay, so here as you can see, the mushroom is being an example, right? Other than that, you can call them as a mycorrhiza. So mycorrhiza also performs a symbiotic association. As you can see, the blue arrow going towards the tree and the orange one moving towards the mushroom. So here what's happening is one is giving nutrition and other is giving what? It food. Okay, so symbiotic association between the fungi as well as the plant roots has been happening over there. So fungi, what it does is it absorbs the phosphorus, okay, from the soil and then it passes to the plants. In turn, what are the benefits which are the plant receives is what? Resistance towards the pathogen or salinity tolerance. All these things are the benefits, means both are mutually benefited again over here. Then we have the last one, which is the cyanobacteria. Okay, so usually cyanobacteria, which is there, they are nothing but the autotrophic microbes. So autotrophic means you already know photosynthesis characteristics they are having. So they are usually found in water and soil, and they have the ability to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. And some of the examples are what? Anabina, nostoc. Okay, these are what? The basic examples of a cyanobacteria. So they are basically being used in the paddy fields, which further acts as what? Nutrients, biofuels, biofertilizers, right? Medicines, bioremediation, and all those stuff. So usually the biofertilizers like rhizobium, then if you take the mycorrhiza or the cyanobacteria, the major role is what? To replenish your soil with plenty of nutrients and to further reduce the use of the chemical fertilizer dependence. Okay, so this is all about what? The microbes, how it's useful in our day-to-day life.